I always feel that kind of intrinsically we have a memory of when we were inside our mother's womb. I think somewhere in our body we recall that experience. And being underwater, I think, puts us back into that mindset. It's almost like going back to the beginning. My name is Jason Taylor, and I'm a sculptor that specialises in making underwater art installations. I studied sculpture at art college. After I left, I was young and energetic. I wanted to sort of explore the world. So I tried my hand at a variety of things. I was a scuba diver, paparazzi. I worked building stages. And I got to the end of it and I realised that actually I didn't enjoy it. And it was a one time in my life where I felt completely adrift. So I just thought from that moment, I might as well just start doing what I love. And what I loved doing was making art. A thought popped up. Why don't I create this underwater sculpture park? But it just wasn't feasible. You know, I didn't have the finance and I didn't have the opportunity. So I just decided to roll the dice. I sold my house. Thought I'd just invest everything that I had to work in this small bay on the island of Grenada.
Next on Evening Edition West Coast, it's an extremely dangerous hurricane with sustained winds as high as 135 miles per hour.
It was a cove that had actually been wiped out by Hurricane Ivan. So many of the corals and marine life that was there had been really damaged. So I thought if I make an alternative that would encourage wildlife to move back. We put them in and they're very clean and grey looking. But then slowly and surely, as coral polyps drift in the water column, they start to attach. And then slowly over time, it becomes this living, breathing ecosystem. It wasn't just about making, static artwork. It was about making artworks that actually create life. After doing the Grenada project, a few other destinations around the world contacted me. Bali, Australia, Mexico. In Cancun, I started off making around 20 sculptures, and I think by the time I left, I think I was up to sort of 600 pieces there. The logistics are huge. I invest a lot of my time in working out how to move hundreds of tons of cement from land onto a boat and then install them underwater. It's incredibly risky business. I've risked my life several times. Once I install the sculptures, there's a huge sense of relief. The rest of it is sort of watching it evolve from there. Our planet is changing and we're losing part of ourselves in the process. I don't think we've ever had such a damaging impact on the natural world. For me, it feels, really meaningless trying to talk about any other issue. Artists play, a fundamental role in shaping our opinions, informing the narrative, a really vital part of the creativity.
Great art is where it talks to you, and it sort of helps you to change yourself as a human being. It helps you be a better person. It enriches your life.
But, you know, I almost feel like I slightly cheat. I just sort of provide the canvas and I have a lot of natural assistants that come along and actually do all the fine brushwork, do all the fine detailing. There's a lot of finishes and techniques that no human hand could ever accomplish. But when I go back to see the works, I go and see a space that used to be sand and devoid of life. And now I go back there and there's thousands of fish, there's thousands of different types of coral. The biodiversity that's there is incredible. And I think that wouldn't be there if I hadn't have done that. And I think that's probably the greatest accomplishment, helping Mother Nature bring life to the world.
Jedes Mal, wenn du zur Rennstrecke fährst, hast du dieses gewisse Gefühl.
Der schnellste Volkswagen R aller Zeiten steht hier in der Halle.
Das ist der Golf R 20 Years, das ist ein Sondermodell zum 20-jährigen Jubiläum des Golf R. Das ist ein Vierzylinder, 2 Liter Turbo. Basis ist hier der Golf R.
Wir haben zum einen eine gesteigerte Motorleistung jetzt um 13 PS. Das Auto hat jetzt 333 PS. Wir haben einen vorgespannten Turbolader. Das bedeutet, auch wenn ich jetzt vom Gas gehe, wird der Turbolader immer auf Drehzahl gehalten, damit eben, wenn ich wieder ans Gas gehe, der Turbolader sofort anspricht. Der Reifen, der macht natürlich einen großen Unterschied im Vergleich zum Vorgänger.
Wir fahren die Rundenzeit so, wie das Auto auch vom Band fällt. Das heißt, komplett seriennah.
Volkswagen.
First place, a winner of the Stef Bitch Trophy, representing Poland, it's Julia Damaziewicz. Once more, ladies and gentlemen, Turkey, La France and Poland. And if able, please rise for the national anthem of Poland.
Jest to naprawdę duży zaszczyt, żeby być tutaj przede wszystkim tego ostatniego roku, kiedy mogłam wystartować na ISAF-ie, bo już za rok niestety będę na to trochę za stara. Jest to niesamowite uczucie i naprawdę bardzo się cieszę, że udało mi się to zrobić.
I consider myself a curious person. I love to take the path less traveled by and form my own opinions. This year, I traveled to Venezuela, a country that not too many people have visited in the past few years. What I saw and experienced, however, took my breath away. My destination was the remote Canaima region with the mythical Angel Falls. At 979 meters and almost a kilometer high, the tallest waterfall in the world. Locals call the place where the water meets the sky JBayBrunch. I imagined it as a beach in the sky. My friend Lucho shares my passion for travel and discovery. In Venezuela, we are guided by our local friends, Valerie and Emmanuel. In challenging times, the two are known for shining light on their beautiful country and have become ambassadors for the revival of Venezuela. Before we ventured out into the unknown, we wanted to hear about JBayBrunch from a shaman who grew up in the region. Tunayebu is a leader of the indigenous Pama population here in Canaima. We were welcomed into his home with a necklace, which is said to take away bad spirits and protect us during our time here. He emphasized the importance of the healing power of nature. I personally felt that Tunayebu woke up my curiosity and the appreciation for what was in front of us. With this deeper understanding, we started our journey into Angel Falls. For 2 days, we traveled by curaira, the traditional indigenous canoes of Venezuela. We were surrounded by mighty tepoys, 2-billion-year-old tabletop mountains that host a unique array of endemic plant and animal species. It became a journey into the depths of our imagination.
Ya casi llegamos. Se escucha así la cascada. Es la cascada más alta de todo el mundo. ¡Cerca, Mati! ¡Wow! Casi estamos.
And finally, Angel Falls. Querepacopai, Vena. The beach high in the sky. I've never seen and experienced anything like it. It felt like that seed that the shaman put with his words into my soul came fully alive. When you want to touch the sky and enter the realm of the gods, you need wings. And wings we got. When your beach is high in the sky, the entire world becomes an ocean. No more borders and nothing that divides us. I'm glad that Lucho, Valerie, and Manuel and I decided to listen to our inner voice and come here and form our own opinion of Venezuela. And celebrate the fact that no matter who you are or where you are from, every person in every place deserves to shine.
Here we go with our West Virginia, Matt Koger, bringing a thick fist to that backstop. And boy, he just smoked that. Matt Koger is off on a mission. This is not just a chop, this is a statement by Koger. Look at it turn into the left side. Matt Koger is just tearing this off. This is a whole nother man we are seeing right now. Let's see if he's straightened out that single buck. And if he just reaches to the handle, now he's figured that style. Josh Wilson only a few hits behind. Matt Koger is looking for the fastest time of the weekend. One more stroke. Look at this man. Let's cheer him on. Matt Koger. If you could see the look in his face, this is pure anger. This is absolutely a man on a mission, blowing half the log off. Matt Koger pull up. He's going to put one more up and he's going to have at it. Matt Koger, the fastest time of the weekend. What a cut! What a cut by Matt Koger, potentially a world record.
The Kalahari's got its own draw. It's vast and it's forever. You've just got to get into those sand dunes on your own, and there you're going to find a lot of solitude. It can seem like a place of massive emptiness, but you suddenly find 5-6 different animal tracks right there. There's this huge amount of life, and when I'm on a filming project, I really like to try and live like the animals do so that I can experience the hardships that they're going through. I want to see wildlife in a totally different context, and that's really, I suppose, what draws me to the Kalahari. It's the vastness and the openness. I really enjoy being able to see these massive distances. Those are great images and things that stick with you.
August 23, 1939. In Moscow, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union sign a non-aggression pact. The treaty divides Eastern Europe into spheres of Nazi and Soviet influence, just days before the Nazis invade Poland, the start of World War II. 1927. In Boston, Italian-born anarchists Niccolo Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti are executed for the murders of two men during a robbery. 50 years later, Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis proclaims that any stigma and disgrace should be forever removed from their names. But controversy over Sacco and Vanzetti's guilt and whether they got a fair trial persists to this day. 2003. Also in Massachusetts, defrocked Roman Catholic priest John Gagan is beaten and strangled to death while serving time in prison. Gagan, who was convicted of child sex abuse, became a symbol of the clergy sex abuse scandal that shook America's Catholic Church. 1926. In New York, silent movie heartthrob Rudolph Valentino, one of film's first major sex symbols, dies from a perforated ulcer. He was 31 years old. And 1960, Oscar Hammerstein, the Broadway librettist, dies in Doylestown, Pennsylvania at age 65. Among his works with composer Richard Rodgers, Oklahoma, South Pacific, The King and I, and The Sound of Music. Today in History, August 23rd. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,